About a month ago, I started cleaning up parts and cleaning up to get ready if I ever decide to work on the car again. Cleaning up the intake, and you know, you got shop rags, right? So I'm using a shop rag and I needed another one. So I went over to my trusty bag over here and I got another one similar to the ones I was using over here. And I like these kind of cloth ones because they're great for, you know, cleaning and polishing, and they don't leave fuzzies everywhere like these, let's say cotton ones or whatever. But they don't leave the fuzzies everywhere, so they're just a better rag for cleaning. So I grabbed this other one, and I noticed a name tag on it. Here's the name tag. That's my grandma. That was the place where my grandma stayed. And I showed these to my mom. Okay, I'm going to cry here. This is going to be a warning. I showed that to my mom, and me and my mom talked. And my mom actually remembers these used to be my grandma's PJs. Now, my grandma passed away about 5 years ago, and I bought the bag probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And yeah, what are the chances of buying a bag of rags with your grandma's old belongings in it? So my mom says that grandma is here in the garage with me, which is nice to know. It's not my grandma who owned the Nova. That was my grandparents on my dad's side. But my mom told me that Grandma Hartwig used to love hearing about me and the Nova, and she loved the Nova because she knew how much it meant to me. And I have a picture of Grandma with the Nova because I took it to a car show at one of the assisted living places she was living at before she made her way to River Park Gardens. But isn't that freaky? So, needless to say, I've stopped using these rags now, and I'm going to wash them. And what I'll do is I'll put one in the cars. That way I got a piece of Grandma with me. And I'm going to hang one up in the garage because, like my mom said, Grandma's here watching over me, hopefully along with my other grandparents. And I use 6-ton jack stands because I like a little overkill. This is why we're replacing the lower ball joints. I don't know if you can see how much that's moving. Before we ordered the parts for the front end, I had my friend Bruce come over and help me check things out. And I knew this ball joint had a problem because it hasn't been taking grease for probably about 2 years now. It just shoots out the side of the grease fitting. It didn't matter if there was load, no load, some load, any load. Wouldn't take grease. I knew it was going to be a problem, so the plan was to replace the lower ball joints regardless. And it also appears that the outer tie rod has a little bit of play in it too, so we're going to replace that as well. But the upper ball joints are like new, so there's no reason to replace those. So I guess I'm going to get my camera, take some pictures, and we're going to get started on these brakes. Paying special attention to pulling these off because I don't want the sockets to mark up the black, because, well, I bought these rims new a couple of years ago and I want to keep them looking new. And look at that, took a little black paint off there. Well, that's the least of my problems right now. Alright, I guess we're really going to do this. Believe it or not, there's 186,000 miles on this Nova. These are still the original drums. Not really sure what tools I need for this because I've never really done this much work before on these things. Never really tackled suspension or anything other than changing the shoes. The original Release All. Get a little lube here. Probably should have done this the night before so I had all night to work in it, but I didn't. Okay. Installation instructions, lower assembly. Prepare the car. Begin by securely supporting the car on jack stands. Chock the rear wheels and set the parking brake to ensure vehicle does not roll. Always work on a flat, even surface. Remove wheels to gain access to the brake system. Check. Disconnect the tie rod ends. Ooh, use a heavy hammer to remove the tie rod ends from the steering arm. Okay, well, let's get the first part done and get that nut off and yeah. Okay. Buried in the grease is the other half of the cotter pin. There we go. Yeah, well, that's why it won't move. There was the thumbnail. I don't even have the tie rod, the cotter pin out, and I'm already having trouble. This brake's on, they say. It'll be fun, they say. And we break the cotter pin. Well, we broke the cotter pin, brought it out in 4 or 5 different pieces.
Yeah, I think this will give you a job that's going to require more than just wrenches. And this battery-powered impact gun, it has like nothing for torque. It's pretty much just good for putting wheels on and off the car, which is why I bought it. But the electric impact here. Now we're going to either break or we're going to have fun. There we go. You know, I was going to try and do this without impacts, but guess not.